Priya madam, can you see me?
Yeah, sir. I can see
Yeah,
you.
good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
A warm good evening to everyone gathered here. On behalf of Academy of Maritime Education and Training, deemed to be University and Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, welcome all the dignitaries, academicians, researchers, and other organizational members who have been brought together for AICTE sponsored 2 weeks Atal Faculty Development Program on Accreditation and Outcome-Based Pedagogic Principles for Effective Learning. I would like to take benefit of this occasion to convey our greetings to our Honorable Chancellor Dr. J. Ramachandran, acclaimed Pro-Chancellor Dr. Rajesh Ramachandran, Honorable Vice Chancellor Colonel Dr. G. Tirivasagam, respected Registrar Dr. M. Jayaprakash Vel, Joint Registrar Mrs. Sangeeta Albin, Dr. Deepa, Director HRDC, and respected Dr. T. Sasilata, Professor and Dean, Academics and International Relations, and the chief guest, Dr. Challa Ramakrishna, and heads of other departments of AMED, eminent professors and faculty. We are grateful to the dignitaries for extending their enormous support in organizing this faculty development program. I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants across the India, all my colleagues, scholars for this faculty development program. Now I extend my pleasing welcome to Madam Dr. S. Priya, Professor and Head, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and also the coordinator for this faculty development program. Welcome, ma'am. I invite you to welcome the gathering.
Thank you, madam. Can you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Respected Dr. Challa Ramakrishna, sir, our beloved IQAC Director as well as Director Accreditation and Ranking, Dr. Arivalakan, sir, and our department professors and my dear colleagues and my dear participants, all of you, good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Academy of Maritime Education and Training deemed to be University and Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, as a coordinator and as a co-coordinator of on behalf of co-coordinator Mrs. Rajashri, I welcome you all for this 2 weeks at AICTE sponsored Atal Faculty Development Program on accreditation and outcome-based pedagogic principles for effective learning. Actually, this FDP to be conducted is in hybrid mode. Uh, Many participant doesn't aware that this faculty development program is to be held 1 week in online mode and 1 week in offline mode. On this occasion, I would like to inform that from 14/11/2022 to 19/11/2022, that is from Monday to Saturday, this is going to be held on online mode from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Then we are going to start our offline session from 21/11/2022 to 25/11/2022. The time schedule for this offline session is morning 9:30 to 12:30, then afternoon again 1:30 to 4:30. This is going to be held in our campus, that Amet University campus. On this occasion, I would like to thank AICTE as well as Atal FDP organizers for us to give the opportunity to conduct this title, Accreditation and Outcome Based Pedagogic Principles for Effective Learning. Actually, we applied this FDP under the leadership. Under the heading of leadership, we applied. So, Atal, I would like to thank the Atal coordinators for selecting us to conduct this FDP in this venue as well as in this title, because every one of us as a teacher, we know how the education is going to be reformed day by day. So after the accreditation, which is going to be taken care of by for a higher education institutions, we know NBA as well as NAAC accreditation, how much important as a university or as affiliated colleges, we know. For tier 1, tier 2, we have NBA as well as for NAAC accreditation is for institution. And then we know about outcome based education, which we are moving towards that. And then we know the national education policies released by the government 2020, we know that. So everywhere education reformation has happened. Then AICTE also released the examination reformation policy, which is going to be mainly based on outcome based education in assessment. Generally we are saying outcome based education should be started from the curriculum itself. When we are designing our curriculum, we have to take it from the outcome based education. So our outcome based education will start from curriculum design, and then we have to implement the outcome based education in our learning and teaching process, and then outcome based education should be implemented in assessment process also. So keeping in mind all those things, myself and Rajashri madam chosen this title and applied this for, because we have to create awareness among our teacher community how the education reformations are going on. So we have to know about accreditation, both NBA as well as NAAC, and we have to know about the AICTE exam reformation policies, what they are adopted, how we have to map our questions with the COs as well as the performance indicators, in what way we have to set the questions, that Bloom's revised Bloom's taxonomy level also we should know, because based upon the Bloom's taxonomy level only we can map our questions. So how to set the question paper also we have to gone for we should undergone training. So keep it in mind. I have chosen this title, accreditation and outcome based pedagogic principles for effective learning. When we plan to submit the proposal, on the day itself I have contacted Dr. Challa Ramakrishna sir. Sir is actually immediately accept our invitation, and he give his concurrence for including his name in that proposal. So after getting so many professors concurrence, mainly I have called people from NITTR Chandigarh, NITTR Chennai, so many professional persons who are actually involving in the accreditation process as well as this reformation process. That sir has accepted our invitation. On this occasion I would like to thank our Ramakrishna sir. Actually he is very kind enough to accept our invitation, as well as he accept to inaugurate this online session, and he is going to deliver the first session of our online FDP. So on behalf of Ahmed University and Department of EEE, I would like to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Challa Ramakrishna Sir, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, NITTR, Ministry of Education, Chandigarh. I would like to welcome you, sir, for this online FDP, this 2 weeks FDP. Then I would like to welcome our beloved IQAC Director and Director Ranking and Accreditation, Dr. Arivalagan Sir, who is gracing this function. Then on this occasion, I would like to welcome all the participants as well as my dear colleagues, every one of you, for attending this online session of 2 weeks ATAL sponsored FDP program. Actually, I can assure that you are going to know something. You are going to take something when you are completing this FDP, because now you know that ATAL FDP also have changed their mode, online as well as offline. Not only this, we are going to post the documents to you relevant to the outcome based education. Based upon that, we are going to submit the report to AICTE also, ATAL as well as AICTE portal. So we have lots and lots of exercise to do, so we can enjoy this FDP session and we can do our best. On behalf of Ahmed deemed to me in university, once again I welcome you all for this online session of accreditation and outcome based pedagogic principles for effective learning. Thank you Rajashri madam. Rajashri ma'am, are you available? Madam? Rajashri ma'am? Okay. I think ma'am is having some network issue. On this occasion, I would like to welcome Professor Arivalakan sir to provide some address to the gathering.
Respected head of the department, Tripoli, Dr. Priya Madam, and the chief guest of this ATLS program, Challa Ramakrishna sir, and faculty members, outside and inside, faculty members of the universities and colleges and autonomous colleges, head of the department. Good evening to all. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the coordinator, Dr. S. Priya ma'am, and the co-coordinator, Mrs. Rajeshri, Assistant Professor, Department of EEE, for choosing this particular topic, accreditation and outcome-based pedagogic principles and effective learning. This is one of the hot topic today because the reason is that everyone we are talking about outcome-based education. How far we are clear about the topic, that is a big question mark. And Priya ma'am is one of the guiding force in Amet University for implementing this outcome-based education when she joined in our university. And she's mostly given the guidelines for almost all the staff members of the university. Thank you, ma'am. And apart from, we are talking about the outcome-based education in point of view of NBA or NAAC and etc. Let us leave all those things because NBA and NAAC and all is accrediting body and keep changing. If you look at the newspapers of few days in the last week, the NAAC and NBA etc. are merging as a national accrediting committee. So where council. So basically, when we have merging all the accreditation bodies into a single body, and they are going to give as a accredited and non-accredited alone. There won't be any kind of ranking and etc. But apart from that, whenever we are teaching the students about any subject, we have to identify what exactly we are given to them, what exactly they're taking away from that particular session or the lecture point of view. So in such a case, there is no defined things over there in the outcome-based education. It's not basically whenever you want to define certain things, it is based on the quantity, not on the quality. How to measure the quality aspect? It's again a big question mark for everyone. When we measure the quality aspect, obviously we try to change that quality aptitude into a quantity, like what kind of subject you are handling, what is the outcome of it, whether the students have understood the subject or not, what kind of questions we are going to set, and how we are going to assess it, how what is kind of threshold, and how we are going to achieve it. It varies from person to person, and as well as especially the indirect assessment, which is one of the key concept of outcome-based education, where every faculty member or every professors or every accreditation body differ with each other because there is no hard and fast rule over there. It depends upon the students' capability and the faculty capability and what kind of subject they are handling. Because the reason is that the technical subject is altogether differ from the arts and science subjects, and obviously the vocational subjects are completely different from these two. So how we are going to assess it, what kind of outcome we are going to set up for each and everything, and whether we are going to have 5 units or 4 units or 6 units, it's all depends upon the university and the faculty member and the board of studies etc. and academic council. They are deciding what exactly they want it. But as far as the achievement is concerned, it's a kind of audit work. Whenever you talk about the accreditation and etc., it's kind of audit work. You define the concept, whether you achieved or not, what kind of procedure you followed. If you followed certain procedure, how far you are doing it. That is what the exact thing of your outcome-based education. But the outcome-based education, I think this particular program will come up with some suggestion where you have to define, because for example, even I was in a committee for formulating and as well as designing a software for doing the outcome based education. But when we consult a lot of people who are involved in outcome based education, no one is giving a clear cut idea. Okay sir, see, everyone knows what is Excel, what is the direct assessment, what is indirect assessment, how much more we have to allot and etc. They are saying that, but how we are going to assess the achievement, there a big question mark there. Because some people say you give an assignment and then get a mark, some people you connect a vivos and get a mark, group discussion you allot a mark, but it varies from person to person. There is no unbiased way is available for doing things. So if this particular conference come up with certain solution for those things, I am very happy, and I would like to wish Dr. Priya Madam and as well as Rajeshri Madam to get a good result out of this particular program. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. I am very glad to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Challa Ramakrishna, for this gathering. He is a professor and head Department of Computer Science and Engineering and former Associate Dean, Product Development, NITTTR, Ministry of Education, Government of India, Chandigarh. He completed his PhD from IIT Kharagpur and is a senior member in IEEE USA and fellow in IETE. He has more than 26 years of teaching and research experience, and also he conducted more than 150 training programs to improve the quality of technical education in India. He is also responsible for preparing the Institute for Accreditation of Master's Programs by NBA and Institutional Accreditation by NAAC. He has his credit more than 125 research publications in referred international and national journals. He is a member in advisory and technical committees of many national and international journals, and also he carried out several sponsored projects funded by Government of India and other agencies. He is also a reviewer of journals like Elsevier, IEEE, Springer, and ACM. He has got 4 patents published. Out of that, 2 patents are under examination and 1 copyright to his credit. He is a member and expert committee in National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF, Ministry of Education, Government of India. He was a committee member in AICTE to bring out examination reforms in technical education. He is a certified aggregator of Asia Pacific Accreditation and Certification Commission, Manila. Good evening, sir, and I invite you to deliver the session address. And we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation to share your expertise. Once again, I invite you to deliver the session address, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajeshri,
Thank you, sir.
for the nice introduction. Hope my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you, Professor Priya, who has invited me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I
much
still
for
remember.
accepting the
I
invitation.
still remember her when she was putting up this proposal. She has asked me to be part of the proposal. Then, without asking a second question, I said yes to her.
Yes, sir.
And Professor Shashilata also, right? I know her because we attended a program together in New Delhi, AICTE UKRE program.
Yes, sir.
So that's how we got connected with you. And Professor Ariva, right? He has also rightly said IQAC director, right? He has summed up the whole course. He has summed up the whole course of 2 weeks in 5 minutes. So that's very nice. And above all, the participants of this course, right? Now the time is around 7:20 in the evening. And I'm sure that all of you might have be working somewhere, right? Some institution or somewhere. And nice to see a lot of enthusiasm, right? Almost 40 plus people are joined. And many of them, from their photographs, I can see that they are very young and energetic. So that's what is needed for India to become a superpower, right? We missed the deadline of 2020, at least by 2025. So all these young faces, right? They are the ones who are going to take us to lead the world. So I'm very happy to see that. And fortunately, I was also part of the screening committee of AICTE Atal this time. AICTE has made it very tough, right? Because they learn from the past experiences. Rather, I am from the beginning, this AICTE Atal screening committee member. So I know how these AICTE Atal programs have been evolved from the beginning to this stage of 2 weeks program, right? 1 week in online mode, 1 week in offline mode, right? And the evening slots, right? Evening slot, very innovative way of reaching out to the teachers all over the country. So it's very nice, right? Very nice to see all of you listening at 7:20 p.m., right? Eagerly waiting. So thank you so much. And that too, this program, accreditation and outcome based, right? As Professor Ariva has rightly pointed out, when I studied BTech, passed out in 1992, nobody talked about this accreditation and outcome based education. I never heard, right? I never heard. But now everybody is talking about accreditation. Everybody is talking about outcome based curriculum, outcome based assessment. Everything is outcome based, right? We are not interested in only in the quantity. Along with the quantity, we are interested in the quality also. And that's what is required in the technical education system in general and in other streams as well. So based on this, I have gone through the entire program schedule given by Professor Priya and Rajeshri. They have nicely chalked out various sessions, right? I could see that they have covered from outcome-based curriculum, examination reforms, NBA accreditation, NAAC accreditation. I could see some of my friends also here, right? NAAC assessment and accreditation is done by Professor Atul Gonsai, right? He's a good friend, right? I can also see Diana Moses is also there. So there are many other people are there. So Priya has put in a lot of efforts to pull in all over India, right? Experts from all over India. It's not an easy task because we know, because we are conducting so many programs throughout the year. It's not easy to coordinate. So special thanks to and congratulations to Professor Priya and Dr. Rajeshri that they have took initiative to apply for ATAL. And there were a good number of applications from all over India. And it was not easy for them to get through, right? Because I know I was part of this committee. So they got it. So credit goes to them. And all the other participants are really, you're lucky, right? You are attending this course free of cost. No money is required, right? And that too, first week is online. And you must take the benefit of this, because now everywhere we are talking about accreditation, we are talking about quality education, we are talking about outcome based. Even Professor Ariva was telling that he has already announced, Professor Ariva has already announced that the government of India is bringing this higher education commission, right? Because I am hearing for last 1 year that government of India is going to bring this higher education commission of India, HECI. And in that there are 4 verticals, right? One of the vertical is regulatory vertical, right? Regulatory Council, National Regulatory Council. So that is going to take care of AICTE and UGC, wherever they were involved for granting approval to the colleges or closing the colleges. That all will be done by one council, right? There will be only one council, which is regulatory all over India. Then, as he rightly said, that there will be a National Accreditation Council, NAAC, right? You have now NAAC, you have now NBA for program accreditation, NAAC for institutional accreditation. So they are going to be merged, right, in a suitable way, so that accreditation council is only one, right? Now, how they are going to do it, what is the modalities, all those things will be coming up once HECI is formed. So you have another called funding council or grant council, like University Grants Commission, right? University Grants Commission also gives money. It gives approvals also, right? It gives instructions to close the universities and institutions also. Similarly, AICTE also does this job, right? AICTE does this job, UGC also does this job. So there is nothing called, because regulatory is now separate, accreditation is separate, then there is a funding or grant council that is also going to be a separate body. And there is one more vertical called general education standards, right? That means there is an agency, there is a council which is going to work on general education standards, right? Which is going to be under the 4th umbrella. So we believe and we expect that in this session of Parliament in December, they are going to, it seems, because I am hearing for last 1 year. So as Professor Ariva has said, maybe you might have got better information from somewhere else. So they are going to announce this HECI, Higher Education Commission of India. So once that is formed, all these 4 verticals are going to come. That means why I am telling this is, the course title is appropriate because accreditation is going to be there. And as you all know, National Education Policy 2020, right? It is not only talking about accreditation for engineering programs of UG level, PG level, and diploma level, right? Accreditation of national institutions as such by NAAC. Now they are talking about accrediting the school education also, which we have not heard so far, right? That means school education also is going to be standardized. School education is also going to be undergoing this accreditation process. That means entire education system, not only higher technical education, even higher education or even school education also is going to go through this accreditation process. So it's very, very important. Principles will be more or less the same, right? Whether it is a higher technical education or higher education or school education. So you are very fortunate to learn this and to lead from the front, because you have heard ahead, and you should be able to help others to undergo this accreditation process as an institution or as a program level. So with these words, let me come back to my topic that is given to me by the coordinators. And how much time do I have, Priya madam? Yeah, it is 7:30. So
Yes,
how much
sir.
time?
You can go up to 9 o'clock, sir. No issues, sir.
Okay. So yeah. So dear participants, will is the screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Screen is visible on.
Yeah. So this is what we are going to do in detail. OBE based program accreditation, a overview, right? So I am little fortunate, right, being very close to Delhi in Chandigarh. So I might have visited more than 50 institutions across India for the program accreditation, and a few institutions I might have visited for even NAAC accreditation also. So in this session, I'll be focusing more on program accreditation, and I have seen your timetable. You have separate sessions also, detailed sessions on NBA program accreditation also. You have sessions on NAAC accreditation process also, right? So my objective will be that I'll be able to focus on overview, and any questions you have, right, related to especially program accreditation, we can discuss at the end of the talk. Right, so keep your questions with you, and maybe we'll take up in between or we'll take up at the end. So first question we should ask is, what is accreditation? Right, so those who have passed out recently from engineering colleges, polytechnics, or management institutions, they have heard this word of accreditation. But those who have passed out like me, like 1992 or so, I never heard when I was studying this word called accreditation, right? Nobody bothered about it. Nobody talked about it, because if I say that in entire Andhra, we had only 6 or 7 government engineering colleges that time. Now, government and private put together, right, in Andhra alone, there are more than 150 plus engineering colleges. Okay, that is the scale of higher technical education in each of the states, right? It has grown so much, and therefore there is a need for quality assurance and its continuous improvement. So accreditation is exactly going to emphasize on that, right? If you look at the definition of it, accreditation is a process of quality assurance and continuous improvement, whereby a program in an approved institution is critically appraised to verify that the institution or the program continues to meet and or exceed the norms and standards prescribed by the regulator from time to time. Who is the regulator? In a technical education system, right? If it is a normal engineering college, AICTE comes up with certain regulations. For universities, technical universities and other things, UGC comes up with some regulations. So you are supposed to meet those minimum norms and standards at least, right? Minimum norms and standards, which will help the institution or the program to maintain that quality and then work towards continuous improvement. So what is accreditation? It is a kind of recognition which indicates that a program or institution fulfills certain standards. Right? Definitely. So you all might have heard, because you're all faculty, I have seen when I was visiting for this NBA accreditation of UG programs of Tier 1, Tier 2, PG programs as well, even diploma level programs also. As a chairman, I have gone for many institutions, right? So there is a lot of emphasis is given for this accreditation, right? When it is at the program level, whether it is at the institution level by NAAC, a lot of emphasis is given, right? Especially these placement companies, right? I've heard in some of the institutions that if that particular program is not accredited by NBA, right, the company is not willing to take those students from the campus, right? So therefore, even the companies, recruiting companies or hiring companies are also interested. If the program is accredited, they are assured that a certain quality is maintained, certain standards are maintained while imparting the education in that particular program, while imparting the education in that particular institution. So accreditation is a type of quality assurance process under which services and operations of educational institutions or programs are evaluated by an external body or external agency to determine applicable standards are met. So in this case, if it is a program accreditation, right, it is done by National Board of Accreditation Delhi. We have only currently one, but National Educational Policy 2020 is suggesting that you can have a number of agencies to carry out this accreditation process, whether it is at institution level or whether at program level, under the umbrella of National Accreditation Council. So we don't know how it is going to come up, how it is going to be established, and what are the modalities, how they go. But currently, we know only two agencies, that is National Board of Accreditation for programs, and for institution level, we have National Assessment Accreditation Council, that is NAAC. So this is what I was telling you, right? There are two types of accreditation for higher technical education system or higher educational institutions. One is the institutional level accreditation. Here, not only technical, even other institutions also can go. Like you have universities where you have multiple programs, like technical, non-technical, even some autonomous institutions are available, degree colleges are available. They all can go for this institutional accreditation, right? Here, the focus is on the institution as a whole, not on a particular program, right? It's like some sort of overview of the entire institution. So that is what the institutional accreditation focuses on, right? They will not be focusing on each and every program that is being run by the university or institution, but institution as a whole will be seen. There are certain criteria, like you have 7 criteria in the NAAC accreditation process. So against that, there is a process for evaluation. So that is basically done currently by National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, for institutional accreditation. So you might have seen in the news also recently, right? NAAC is also aligning this accreditation criteria with respect to NEP 2020 and also keeping in mind Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, Sustainable Development Goals 2030. So NEP 2020, based on that, and Sustainable Development Goals 2030, NAAC is going to modify the criteria for accreditation, right, wherever it is necessary, right, and how it is going to be incorporated in the National Accreditation Council, that we are yet to see, right? But NAAC is aware that it is a requirement that you need to incorporate the NEP 2020 futures as well as Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Okay, so in this discussion, I will not be focusing much on institutional accreditation, that you have anyway separate sessions, but I'll try to overview this program accreditation by NBA. So what is program accreditation? It focuses on a study program within an institution. Each program has its own distinctive definitions of eligibility and standards for accreditation, right? For example, MIT University, which is which is conducting this program, they have a number of departments, engineering departments, management departments. They may be having diploma, I do not know, right? So each of these departments will be running several programs. Let us say Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, they are running a BTech program in EEE, right? They are also running a PG program, right, on some subject of electronics engineering, right? So they may be having 2 programs, one UG level, one PG level. So every program, right, which you want to go for accreditation, you have to apply separately, right? So if you are going for UG program, so you have to go separately. For PG program, you have to go separately. Earlier, first you can go for PG program also, then you can go for UG program. But now they have made it mandatory. First UG program has to be accredited, then only you can go for the PG program, because there was a lot of issues coming up with respect to faculty, and the PG program is accredited first and UG program later on. So now they have done these changes also, that all students of the department, including UG, including PG, will be taken into consideration for student faculty ratio, so that there is no problem with respect to the faculty, whichever program you are going for accreditation. So all students are put together in the department, will be taken up for calculating the student faculty ratio. So this program accreditation is more rigorous compared to the institution accreditation by NAAC, right? You might have seen those who have undergone this process of program accreditation. So it is always fixed for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So dates will be changing, but the days are same, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday, Saturday is going to be very rigorous, right? There will be 2 experts for each of the program at the UG level that you have applied, and they will be rigorously evaluating against 7 criteria by the subject experts and 3 criteria by the chairman of the committee, right? That means if one program is going for accreditation, there will be 2 subject experts and 1 chairman of the committee. So against the 10 criteria for UG, right, 3 will be evaluated. That is criteria number 8, 9, and 10 that I will show you in the later slides. Will be evaluated by the chairman of the committee, and criteria 1 to 7 will be evaluated by the subject experts. So this is a AAA program. So 2 AAA experts will be there, right? And they will be evaluating 2 days rigorous evaluation for that particular UG AAA program. So this entire process is done by National Board of Accreditation for program accreditation. This I have seen for last more than 20 years, 10 years. They have evolved into a beautiful system, right? And it is working very well for last more than 10 years, right? Very well it is doing, and a lot of reputation has come for this NBA based accreditation all over India, even at the international level. International level also there is recognition for tier 1 programs, because NBA has become part of the Washington Accord, and they have got a now permission, right? Permission or part of the accord for another 5 years in 2020. There was a review by Washington Accord, and we have successfully gone through that review also. And now we are a permanent member or permanent signatory for this Washington Accord. At the international level also, right? This is at the national level in India, right? We have a NAAC, we have an NBA. But at the international level also, you have these agencies like ABET, very popular, right? Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology, USA. In Tamil Nadu also, like institution like VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology, maybe some other institutions. I'm not aware about EMET. So some of their programs are accredited by ABET also, right? I have seen some institutions, right? Their same program is accredited by NBA in India, and the same program is accredited by ABET of USA. And similarly, there are some agencies from UK, there are some agencies from Australia, there are some agencies with a different name from Canada. So different institutions, depending on the requirement, they are also going for international accreditation. But above all, this ABET accreditation by USA is more popular in India. And many institutions like VIT, Thapar University in northern side, they all have gone for this type of accreditations. So programs accredited currently by National Board of Accreditation, right? In engineering category, they go for UG, that is BE BTech programs, 4 years. Then PG engineering programs, right? 2 years engineering programs, and 3 years diploma programs. Not 1 year and 2 year diploma, but 3 year diploma programs are covered under this engineering category for accreditation by NBA. Under the management category, right, currently they take care of this MBA and PGDM programs also, right? MBA and PGDM programs are being accredited by NBA. Under the pharmacy category, you have B Pharmacy, and you have diploma programs of 3 years in the pharmacy category. And MCA, computer applications category, MCA is the only course that is being considered currently by NBA for accreditation. Under hotel management and catering technology, 4-year UG program is only being considered. So engineering category, management category, pharmacy category, computer applications category, hotel management, catering technology category, all these varieties of programs are being accredited at UG level, PG level, as well as diploma level are being accredited by NBA. Those who are listening this type of talk for the first time, right, there is a beautiful website which is being maintained by National Board of Accreditation, right? I've given here, right? You can go to this website, nbaind.org, very informative and useful website, right? You will learn a lot of new things, right? Even if you miss while listening to these talks, because it is the evening time, not only my talk, even the rest of the talks from tomorrow to Saturday, right? But you can go to this nbind.org. Even NAAC is also having a beautiful website, right? Even you can visit that also. Maybe, for example, I can show you, right? This is the, this screen should be visible to you. National Board of Accreditation website, nbind.org, and you will get a lot of useful information, right? A lot of useful information, a lot of presentations are there, and almost all questions are addressed here, right? Similarly, NAAC is also having a beautiful website, right? Here also will get a lot of information, right? You can go for naac.gov.in, and then you will get all the required information. Okay. So why accreditation? Because I told you that when I passed out, nobody is bothered about accreditation. But now everybody, including Government of India, right? Government of India and the state governments are talking about accreditation. And it is more or like a, right? Even Government of India has told that by 2022-23, 50% of the programs in the entire country in the technical institution should be accredited. But the target is not achieved, right? Maybe one, it has become slow because of the pandemic for the last 2 years, right? Other thing is, it is a huge technical education system, right? There are so many technical institutions in the country, so many programs are being run. So it is not possible to scale up such level. So therefore, 2022-23, the target of 50% of the programs being offered in entire India should be accredited is not achieved, right? It may take some more time. So now let us see why this accreditation is so important for a teacher to understand, so that in turn, the benefit of this accreditation will be passed on to your, one of the important stakeholder, that is your students, right? So students and parents, it will assist in selecting an institution and programs for admission, right? When I passed out, when I entered for engineering program, there was no way to choose an institution, right? There was no way to choose an institution. Mostly, I might have thought that it is very near to my home, right? So let me select this institution. Or maybe we had only 3 categories. IIT is the first preference, and NIT was the second preference, and government engineering college is the third institution, and private institutions is the fourth option. Okay, these are the only 4 options. There were no triple ITs when I passed out, right? Triple ITs have started coming up in the last 10-15 years only. Okay, so now it is helping this accreditation. If the particular program or an institution is accredited, right, it is helping the students and parents to choose based on certain parameters. Suppose, say, a particular program in a particular institution is 150% placement of the students. That means some students have got more than 2 offers, right? So that's how it became, placement became 150%. Or maybe more core placements are happening. Or maybe more number of students are encouraged to go for higher studies like MTech or MS outside India, right? So that data is put up on the website, right? It is accessible to the students and parents, and it has been certified, right? This program is accredited by NBA. It is a Tier 1 program. It is recognized internationally, so that it is helping the students and the parents to select that particular institution, particular program for the admission of their ward, right? Very important. Employers in deciding about the institutions for recruitment of graduates. This I was telling you, right? Some of the employers like TCS, Capgemini, and other Infosys, right? So now they are more focusing on if that particular program is accredited, they are willing to come, because they know that the accreditation process by NBA is so rigorous and it is going on very nicely, right? It brings out really the quality in the particular program, so that the students who are passing out from those institutions are quality oriented and they're acceptable to the market. So it is helping the employers also, which institution, which program they should come and recruit the graduates. So employers it is helping, students and parents it is helping. And then institutions to avail the benefits from regulatory bodies and funding agencies. Those who are applying for funding to UGC and AICTE under various schemes, like you have research promotion scheme, you have this AICTE Atal FDPs, right? And you have many other schemes of AICTE and UGC, right? So one of the, even in NIRF ranking also, there is a weightage for this accreditation. right? If your programs are accredited, right, you are eligible for funding, right? If your programs are accredited, it will give some weightage to your ranking in the NIRF category, right? So there is a benefit to the institution as such also if your programs, all of your programs are accredited, or at least 50% of your programs are accredited, or you have a very good NAAC grade, right? All those things are going to help the institution also to build its name and fame in that particular area and across India also. And other important benefit of accreditation is mobility of students for pursuing higher studies and employment in other countries, right? First, I'll talk about higher studies, right? As I told you that NBA accredited programs under Tier 1 category, have been recognized all over the world in 19 or 20 countries. That means a BTech pass out student of AICTE University, that particular program is accredited because AICTE is a university, so your programs are under Tier 1. If it is accredited and the student has passed out in that during that particular duration, if he is going for higher studies to some other country like USA, Canada, UK, Australia, I'll show that list of countries also. So our BTech program at AICTE University is equivalent to those other countries which are part of this Washington Accord. So it is really helping the students. Otherwise, those countries, I still remember when we were studying BTech, after that some of my classmates went for MS in USA, right? Our degree was not straight away recognized in US. So therefore, some of my friends have to undergo a bridge course. So undergoing a bridge course for 6 months or 1 semester means there is an extra burden for the parents, extra burden for the student, because you have to be paying the fee for that extra 6 months, that bridge course you are doing. After that only you are eligible for the regular MS, right? So it is an extra burden for the parent, extra burden for the student, because there was no accreditation process, there was no standardization process, the programs of India and the programs of other countries. So thanks to this Tier 1 accreditation under Washington Accord, our BTech students who are passing out under Tier 1 category, the program is equivalent to 19 other countries' programs. So the students can straight away join for that particular program without any bridge course, and they can continue. So there is a lot of benefit. And then employment in other countries, right? You might have seen few years before, right? Maybe just before the lockdown due to COVID. Some of the Gulf countries, right? Some of the Gulf countries, there were a lot of many IIT graduates were working in those countries. So it was in the news that those employees who are working in Gulf countries, those who have not undergone this accreditation criteria, or they have not passed out from the accredited programs, they may be sent back. They may be sent back, right? That was in the news, right, before COVID-19. And ultimately, Government of India through AICTE and UGC, right, and it took up with those other governments, and then they told that the programs of IITs in India is much better than rest of the programs. So therefore, there was no need for accreditation of those programs, and somehow that issue was sorted out. So who knows, in the coming years, any country may come up with any such type of policies, right? So if your program is accredited, maybe your students will be having better employment opportunities in other countries as well, right? So this is what is standardization of education for quality. Right, so we have seen that students and parents are benefited, employers are benefited, institution as such is benefited, and students for the mobility for higher studies and employment opportunity in other countries also benefited. Students get quality education, better employment opportunity. That I have already told you, right? Because there is a laid down procedure, right? Initially, any institution or any program is preparing for accreditation, the teachers feel that they are overburdened. Definitely, because, right, we have less number of teachers compared to the number of students. So therefore, and we don't have online systems. So the entire burden comes on the teacher, right, to prepare for the accreditation process. But once you do it for one cycle, then you start enjoy doing it in the second and third cycle, and you try to improve upon it. And you have a lot of students who can help you to make this entire exercise online through Excel sheet or writing program, developing a software, right? So you give an opportunity to the students also to develop this whole system so that you can use it for your accreditation process. So I encourage all the young teachers that don't take it as a burden, but yes, definitely work hard, so that in the first cycle, definitely it is going to be very burdensome, because you have to maintain a lot of documents, you have to either online or offline, and then you have to do a lot of procedures you need to follow, a lot of processes you need to adopt. and all of a sudden, right, because you are a new teacher and you are not familiar with these processes, and you get a feeling that you are burdened. But don't feel like that. Work hard, and next cycle you will be really enjoying, and you will also become expert like me one day. Because of this accreditation, there is a strong alumni connect with the institution, with the department. So alumni come to the institution, right? Alumni come to the institution, come to the department where they have passed out, and they share their experiences, right, wherever they are working, and participate in the curricular updates in view of emerging technologies and tools. Like they are part of the board of studies of that particular program. So they bring in what they have studied, what is being experienced in the industry wherever they are working, right? So in turn, rather, alumni is giving back to that particular institution, giving back to that particular department where they have passed out. And development of faculty, opportunity of attempting more complex problems, career advancement, consultancy, sponsored R&D. Faculty, right? What is the benefit for the faculty, right? It is their own development. Yes, definitely, because there is one full criteria for faculty contribution. Criteria number 5 only talks about faculty, right? And I will show you also in the coming up slides. Out of 1,000 points or 1,000 marks in this NBA accreditation of Tier 1 and Tier 2 for UG programs, 200 marks or 200 points are only for faculty contribution. That means 20% weightage, highest weightage is given only for faculty, right? So therefore, it talks about various ways of development of faculty, right? When you attend that NBA accreditation process, Tier 1 and Tier 2, Professor Bhaskar is going to take, I am sure that he will run through all the criteria, right? Criteria 1 to criteria 10. And you will be able to appreciate that entire one criteria is dedicated only for the faculty, various aspects of the faculty, right? So you have an opportunity to attempt more complex problems. This is one of the program outcome, right, which talks about solving the more complex problems. And it is helpful for your career advancement also, right? Career advancement also. And then it is also helping you to get consultancy projects. It is also helping you to get sponsor R&D. I told you that if you want applying for RPS under AICTE, right, there is a criteria. Even this subtle program also, right? There is a criteria that how many of your programs are accredited in the institute. There is some weightage for it, right? So it is a very, very important accreditation. It is helping the faculty in many ways, right, to improve themselves as well as improving the program of the department through consultancy, through sponsored R&D, solving more complex problems as a part of the accreditation criteria and all those things. In turn, students are immensely benefited because faculty is being developed. Employer in industry, academia, public services get well-grounded practice engineers with requisite technical and behavioral skills, graduate attributes, right? If your program is prepared for accreditation, accredited, right, the benefit is to the industry. That means they get industry-ready manpower, right? Academia-ready manpower for further studies like going for MS or MTech. And then public services also, right? They go for some civil services. They go for some other kind of services through public sector undertakings and other agencies. So they get a manpower which is quality oriented, which is prepared, which are ready to be used for the work purpose. Institution builds up as a brand, right? I have seen, what is this branding? I have seen some institutions, right? They have only applied for accreditation. They have not even got it, right? On the website, on one side, they have advertised, applied for accreditation, right? Even on the roadside, I have seen some banners, right? Applied for accreditation. So that is a kind of brand name accreditation has built up. Whether it is a NAAC accreditation, whether it's a program accreditation, NBA, institutions are advertising or building up their brand, saying that applied for accreditation, or their programs, so-and-so programs are accredited, or they have got a NAAC A+ grade or A++ grade. Right? This is all brand building of the institution so that you attract good students, right? So that your admissions are 100%, right? And health of the institutions will be better, because admissions are 100% means your seats are full, you get required money from the students, and then better and better pay packages for the faculty so that they are better motivated and they teach well, right? And they groom the students well, and in turn more admissions, more quality admissions will happen. So institution builds up the brand through this accreditation, whether it's program accreditation or a NAAC accreditation. And then continuous improvement towards excellence. This is the main goal of accreditation process. It is not that you got once 3 years, or maybe you are rejected, or maybe you got 6 years. So in that 6 years or 3 years accreditation, you have not done anything, right? So it is quite likely that when you go for reaccreditation, you may be rejected also, right? Because you have not followed this principle of continuous improvement, right? Continuous improvement based on the feedback that has been given by the earlier committees. So continuous improvement is also one of the requirement. Therefore, you need to go for accreditation. Okay, any doubt you have still here? Any doubt? Because general things I have got. Any doubt you have, you can put it in the chat box. Professor Priya or Professor Rajeshri, somebody can read out for me, right? Yeah. If you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead.
Sure, sir. If they are putting any queries, I will inform.
Yeah. You can read out. You can read out, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So one more thing we should remember: what is the accreditation does not mean, right? It is really helpful for people like me who go for accreditation as expert, and those institutions and departments, they should also be aware if any expert is ragging you, right? You should also know what accreditation does not mean. Very important, right? As an institution, as a department, you should also know. As an expert, when I am coming, I should also know, right, what purpose I have come there, right? So accreditation does not find faults with the institution. That is not the purpose of the accreditation. That is not the purpose of the accreditation. Finding faults was not the goal. Rather, to assess the status of the performance claim. Like that's the reason when you file your SAR, SAR means self-assessment report, or maybe under the NAAC you file SSR, self-study report, right? So self-assessment report, as the name itself indicates, you judge yourselves. Where do you stand, right? That means if criteria-wise or sub-criteria-wise, you write the things, you support the claims, and then there are some marks are allotted, right? Marks are allotted. So that means out of 10 marks, whether you get 10 out of 10, whether you get 8 out of 10, or 7 out of 10, or 5 out of 10, or 1 out of 10, right? So it gives a picture what is the health status of your particular program, what is the health status of your particular institution. So it is a assess, it will help the institution, it will help the department to assess the quality of their programs. And then the purpose is whatever you have claimed in the SSR, whatever you have claimed in the SAR, that is going to be verified by the experts, right? The claims are going to be verified or assessed, right? So suppose you are claiming 10 out of 10 in that particular sub-criteria. If the experts are convinced that yes, you have all the documents, you have all the proofs, it is visible, right? When they interacted with the students, when they interacted with the alumni, when they interacted with the employers, when they interacted with the faculty, and it is visible on the ground, yes, you may get 10 out of 10 also, right? That's what is exactly is the accreditation, not to find faults, right? Okay, I am from NITTTR. If I come to MIT University, I should know, I should not compare my institution with your institution. That's not the purpose of accreditation. And accreditation does not denigrate the working style of the institution and its program, but to provide a constructive feedback on their strengths and weaknesses. That is the reason when the accreditation is over, right, and the report is submitted, it is evaluated at the Delhi, and the final result is out, right? You will be communicated with the entire report, part A and part B. Entire report will come to you, right? There is nothing secret, completely transparent process, right? So in that, there is a page which will clearly indicate what are the strengths of your particular program, what are the concerns, that means immediate concerns where you can work out, and then you can turn these concerns into strengths, and where you really need to work hard. That is, they have pointed out the weaknesses, they have pointed out the deficiencies. So weaknesses and deficiencies means you need to really work hard, you need to really focus in that particular areas, and you have to come up, right? So strengths are conveyed, concerns are conveyed, weaknesses are conveyed, deficiencies are conveyed, so that you have a feedback from a third party, right? NBA is a third party, and which is telling all these things in a neutral way. And NBA has a beautiful system, right? If MIT University is being accredited, a program is accredited at MIT University, right? The experts will not be from southern region, right? The experts will not be from Andhra, experts will not be from Tamil Nadu, experts will not be from Karnataka, experts will not be from Telangana, the experts will not be from Kerala, right? Experts may be mostly from northern region, right? For southern program being accredited, experts will be from the northern region, right? Or maybe far away regions, so that you do not know each other and your evaluation is done in a transparent manner. And accreditation does not demarcate the boundaries of quality, but to offer a sensitizing process for continuous improvement. That's the whole purpose of accreditation. There is continuous improvement with respect to various criteria and sub-criteria. Accreditation does not select only institution national excellence, but to provide benchmarks of excellence and identification of good practices, right? I am very fortunate, right? I have visited more than 50 institutions, right? I have learned many good things, many good practices various institutions are following, right? For example, in Tamil Nadu only, right? I visited 2 institutions, right? I was astonished to see, right? Some institutions, they're providing free breakfast and free lunch for all the faculty and staff, right? That you also may be aware, those who are from Tamil Nadu region, right? So every day, right? Breakfast and lunch is free for the faculty and the entire staff. Very good practice. Not easy, right? It's not easy for the management to offer free breakfast and free lunch for all the faculty and staff every day. Very good practice. I have seen some institutions, right? They are depending on the solar power, right? They have installed solar panels, right? Maximum energy requirement is covered from the solar, right? Renewable energy resources. Very good practice, right? I have seen that excellent data center they have built up with good security features and all. Being a computer science expert, right? So very good. I have seen few institutions which has got a wonderful data center for the entire institution. Right? So like that, there are many good practices with respect to teaching, learning, with respect to overall institution, with respect to even campus maintenance also. I saw one institution in northern region, right? Well-maintained campus, well-maintained infrastructure, well-maintained. It's not easy. It's not easy, right? So there are some benchmarks of excellence, identification of good practices, and then propagating these good practices across the India, right? Various institutes, so that whatever NITTTR Chandigarh is doing very good, that should be conveyed to the rest of the world, rest of the India also. So whatever good practices AICTE University is following, right, that should be reflected to the other institutions, so that they will also build up in that particular direction and they'll be able to excel. Then you should also know, because many of you are faculty, you should also know eligibility of programs for accreditation by NBA, right? There are a lot of documentation available, but I have summarized over here with brief this thing, so that you get an idea that you should remember whether your program is eligible for accreditation or not. Programs and not educational institutes are considered for accreditation. So I'm talking about only NBA, right? I'm not talking about NAAC. NAAC will be covered by other experts later on, right? In detail, even NBA also, right? Tier 1 and Tier 2, I've seen a session over there, right? Only programs will be considered for accreditation by NBA. Sometimes I have seen that people talking about our department is accredited. Your department is not accredited by NBA. Only the programs. I told you, EEE department of AICTE University, they have a UG EEE, they have a PG electronics engineering. Okay. So individual programs, UG EEE, PG electronics engineering, they will be considered for accreditation, not the department of EEE. Programs from which at least 2 batches of students might have graduated are considered for accreditation. That means if UG program you have started in 2020, right? Let us say 2020, you have started BTech in artificial intelligence, right? 2020. So it's a 4 years program. So even one batch is not passed out. 2021 they have joined. So 21, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 one batch will pass out, 26. So after 2026 only they will be eligible to participate in this accreditation process of programs. Only the programs applied for accreditation are evaluated. As I told you that AICTE University Electrical Electronics Engineering UG EEE has applied for accreditation, but they are also running a PG program. So UG EEE program will be rigorously evaluated, right? PG accreditation program experts will be least bothered because that is not applied for accreditation. So whatever program that you apply in that particular department, only that program will be rigorously and thoroughly evaluated for 2 days, right? 2 days by 2 experts, subject experts, and 1 chairman of the committee. Now, apart from this eligibility, there are certain other conditions also, right? Your SFR has to be below 1:25, right? And you should have your admissions at least 50% or 60% and above, right? And your HOD, does it have a PhD degree or not? So there are certain essential eligibility criteria that you will find in the pre-qualifiers, right? So before you actually upload your self-assessment report, first step is you have to upload your pre-qualified. That has been also introduced recently for last 5 years or 6 years. Earlier, you used to straight away file this self-assessment report. A lot of confusions used to happen. Whatever you have claimed in SAR, when you go there, a lot of confusions. So to avoid those things, NBA has introduced these pre-qualifiers now. First pre-qualifiers you have to satisfy. At the last page, there is a essential pre-qualifiers and desirable pre-qualifiers. So essential pre-qualifiers is compulsory to satisfy. Then only the NBA will give you a green signal to go for the submission of self-assessment report. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to submit the self-assessment report if you are not qualifying in the essential pre-qualifiers. This is what I was talking about Washington Accord, right? An accord signed among accreditation bodies of 6 countries in the beginning, in the 1989. So there were only 6 countries in the 1989. This is Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK, and USA. To mutually recognize and accept the qualification accredited by signatories. So India was not a signatory when this Washington Accord was framed by these 6 countries. Now this Washington Accord has 19 full signatories and 5 provisional signatories. So members of Washington follows outcome-based accreditation process, OBE, right? So Washington Accord has introduced this outcome-based accreditation terminology in 1989. All members accept the defined graduate attributes, right? Now we call this as a program outcomes. Earlier, NBA used to allow us these graduate attributes. You can modify it, and then you can add 1 or 2 or delete 1 or 2 also. That provision was there earlier, but now they have freeze with the program outcomes, right? If it is UG program, there are 12 program outcomes given by NBA itself. For PG programs, right, few are given by NBA and 1 or 2 you can add it also. But for UG programs, strictly it is given by only NBA. Washington Accord is applicable only for UG engineering programs, that too Tier 1 only, not Tier 2. Yeah, these are the current signatories, right? Current signatories of Washington. You can see India is also there, represented by National Board of Accreditation NBA. In 2014, we became signatory, right? We became signatory in among this Washington Accord. In 2020, we had a review, right? And that review is also successful. Now we are a permanent signatory to this Washington. United States also, you can see this ABET. ABET is there from the beginning, 1989 onwards, whereas we joined in 2014. So you can see, right, countries like USA, UK, Australia, Canada, right, they all are there from the beginning, right? So they are talking about outcome-based accreditation, outcome-based education, this Bloom's taxonomy philosophy, they are talking from 1989 onwards, whereas we started giving more focus probably from 2014. Though this NBA accreditation was being done by AICTE earlier, right? But Washington Accord, we became signatories only in 2014. So from 2014 onwards till today, a lot of changes have been done and a lot of quality initiatives have been brought in by NBA for the program accreditation. These are the provisional members of Washington Accord, like Bangladesh, Costa Rica, Mexico, Peru, Philippines, right? Once they clear certain criteria, certain standards and all, then they also will become permanent signatories, just like India has become in 2014. Now, accreditation process and criteria. Before I go into that, any questions you have? Any questions related to accreditation? Not only on my talk, any questions, right? You might have, you may be preparing for accreditation or you might have gone for accreditation. You have some doubts in your mind, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll go ahead with my accreditation process and criteria of NBA for that. Rajeshri madam, any questions are there?
Till now, no.
Okay, right, good. So that means you're all very good participants, right? Either everything you're understanding, right? Or other maybe the other way around, right? You don't understand anything. So as a speaker, I take it in a positive way, right? You're understanding everything quickly, right? Because you may be feeling very hungry, right? Because you might have come back from office and straight away Rajeshri madam and Priya madam has put you for this course, right? So you are feeling very hungry. So I'll wind up on time, don't worry, right? So when you go for this process of accreditation, very important to know as a faculty, as an institution, you should know this. There are 4 sequential stages, right? In the same order you have to continue, right? Step number 1 is initial stage. I will see with the help of a diagram also what are you going to do in these stages. Then pre-assessment stage, assessment stage, and post-assessment stage, that is decision making, right? We'll see in the next slide. Applicant institution must not complete the previous stage before proceeding to the next stage. That means without completing initial stage, you cannot go to the pre-assessment stage. Without completing this pre-assessment, you cannot go to the assessment stage. So they are sequential, right? One by one, step by step, you have to proceed. So this diagram is very clear. You can see here, you are an institution here at the top, right? You are here. So first step, if you want to participate in this program accreditation of NBA, right? I showed you one website, right? nbint.org. First, you have to go to that nbint.org, and the right-hand topmost side, you will find eNBA. So you have to click that link and you have to register yourself as an institution, right? Whether registered with eNBA, right? No, register with eNBA. That is, fill the registration form with the details that has been asked regarding the institution and all those things, right? And then step 2 is submit the registration fee. So every institution which wants to become the part of this NBA program accreditation, you have to register, right? Once you register, you will get a temporary username and password, and then you will be given some time, like 15 days or so, right? You have to pay the registration fee, one-time registration fee of 1 lakh rupees plus GST, right? Then after submitting this fee, then NBA will issue a permanent username and password for the institution. This is a lifetime, right? Lifetime, right? Lifetime, one-time registration fee. So once your institution is registered, right, with the permanent username and password, then the next stage will come. That is, initial stage is over. Initial stage is basically registration, right? Getting the permanent username and password for your institution. That is the initial stage. Next comes the pre-assessment stage. Pre-assessment stage is, once your registration is done, apply for accreditation of programs. That is, you generate the temporary application, right? In one application, you can apply for 5 programs, right? 5 UG engineering programs or PG engineering programs. So 5 programs you can apply under this accreditation of programs. So generate the temporary application, fill up all the details, right? And then first step is fill and submit the pre-qualifiers. Earlier pre-qualifiers were not there. Before 2016 or 17, pre-qualifiers was not there. Straight away, you will be filling the self-assessment report. But there were some difficulties, there were some problems and challenges faced. So therefore, NBA has introduced first the pre-qualifiers. Right? Pre-qualifiers is a summary, right? Maybe 4 or 5 pages are there, part A and part B. So that information you will be filling up, right? And then within certain duration, you need to pay the accreditation fee, right? If you are applying for UG 1 program for accreditation, the fee is 2 lakhs plus DST, right? And accordingly, if you are applying for 2 programs and you add 2 more lakhs, if 3 programs, add 2 more lakhs, up to 5 programs, right? You can apply in one application. So you need to pay 10 lakh rupees plus GST. So 10 lakh, if you are applying for only 5 programs, so 10 lakhs. So that means 10% of it, right? 1 lakh rupees plus GST, you have to pay for the evaluation of these pre-qualifiers that you have submitted for 5 programs. Okay. So after doing that, then the NBA will evaluate those pre-qualifiers that you have submitted for the 5 programs, right? If they do not satisfy the essential pre-qualifiers, any one of them or all of them that you have applied, program is not processed further for accreditation and shortcomings are communicated to the institute. That means at the pre-qualifier level itself, the program which is not meeting the essential pre-qualifier is rejected and you will be conveyed the shortcomings, right? That means you have to again come back after rectifying those shortcomings and you have to, well, that means you lose your 10% accreditation fee also, right? And then you have to again generate the temporary application, again fill up the pre-qualifiers considering the shortcomings and then pay the 10% accreditation fee for 1 program or 2 program, whatever has been rejected that you need to pay and then come back, right? So if your pre-qualifiers are successful, right? You are meeting the essential pre-qualifiers, then NBA will communicate to you that your pre-qualifiers are successful, it has been accepted by the committee, then you will be allowed to submit the self-assessment report within 60 days. After the pre-qualifiers are accepted. So once you submit the self-assessment report, then you need to pay the 90% remaining fee, right? 10 lakh rupees plus GST, 1 lakh plus GST you already paid, rest remaining 9 lakhs plus GST you will be paying. And then you will also submit 5 visit dates, right? That means NBA will be asking, this entire process is online, right? There is no paperwork. Everything has to be submitted online. So after submitting the SAR, submitting the 90% balance fee, then you will be asked to give the 5 dates. So this is the pre-assessment stage, Right? This will be done by the institution. That initial stage is also done by the institution. The pre-assessment stage, right, done by the institution and the NBA also. Because pre-qualifiers you will be submitting, they will be evaluating it, and they will convey the result, and then rest of the process you will complete it. So once you submit your SAR, complete the 90% fee, 5 dates you have suggested to NBA for the accreditation point of view, then the assessment stage is done by the NBA. Right? NBA will constitute a visiting expert team. Right? Visiting expert team will come to your institution physically now, conducts accreditation visit, that is 3 days accreditation visits, and submit the evaluation report to NBA. That means experts report, chairman's report, all will be submitted to NBA Delhi office. Right? After that comes the post-assessment stage. Post-assessment stage is entirely done by the NBA. Right? There is a moderation committee. It checks the consistency of evaluated report and finds the borderline cases. Okay, borderline cases means, suppose say, right, for a tier 2 BTech program, right, experts are given, let us say, 605 marks or maybe 595 marks. So the program should get at least 600 marks out of 1000 to qualify for 3 years accreditation if it is a tier 2 institution, tier 2 program of UG. But the experts are given 595 marks, right? Or maybe they have left it at 605 border level. So all those consistencies will be checked by the moderation committee at the NBA, and then accordingly it will be conveyed to the institution. Right? If it is 595 also it will be conveyed. If 605 also it will be conveyed by going through the report submitted by the experts and chairman thoroughly by this moderation committee, and it will come to you. Then you need to justify whatever points that they have raised. You need to justify with the documentary evidences. Right? Based on that, moderation committee will submit those documents for further evaluation by the EAC committee, Evaluation and Accreditation Committee, which is called EAC. So EAC, what it does, considers the report and response received from the institution against these inconsistencies in the presence of the chairman of the visiting team. That means visiting team chairman who has visited your institution, right, along with the experts. He will also be called if required and submits his recommendation to the respective subcommittee of Academic Advisory Committee, that is EAC. That means EAC will evaluate and submit the report to AAC. So moderation committee, EAC committee, and then it comes to the subcommittee of Academic Advisory Committee, which makes the final decision regarding the accreditation. Whether your program is not accredited, your program is accredited for 3 years, or your program is accredited for 6 years. So that decision, right, you can see here, result of accreditation is communicated to the institution. Right? Whether you are not accredited for 3 years, accredited for 6 years, right? It will be conveyed to the institution. So if you are not satisfied for one program or 2 programs or all the programs that you have undergone for accreditation with the result, there is an appeal mechanism also against the decision. Right? For appeal for every program, you need to pay 1,50,000 rupees fee plus GST. Right? Then you need to submit your report point wise, and then it will go to the appellate committee. The rightmost side you can see here, right? Appellate committee, which examines and evaluates the appeal and submits the recommendation to, again, Academic Advisory Committee subcommittee. So Academic Advisory Committee will go through these documents that you have submitted by the through the appellate committee, and then final decision will be conveyed to you whether your appeal is considered or your appeal is rejected. If your appeal is considered, that whatever you appeal for, whether you appeal for, you are rejected, you appeal for that this program should have got it for 3 years. If it is accepted, you will get for 3 years. If it is rejected, then your result will remain as it is. So this is the complete process which is adopted for a particular program accreditation, right? This is a standardized procedure, right? This you should be aware of it. So with respect to the SAR now, I have depicted here for tier 1, tier 2, right? That is only in UG level, right? And then diploma level. So you have 2 parts. One is part A and part B. Part A is general institutional information, right? There is no problem at all. You can fill up all that information in a very easy way. Part B is having 2 levels, right? One is a program level criteria, right, which is specific to the program which is going for accreditation. One is a institute level criteria. So that means part B is having 2 levels. So one is program level, other one is institution level criteria. So criteria 1 to 7 is specific to the program that you have going for accreditation, and criteria 8, 9, and 10 are specific to the institution. If it is a diploma level program, so criteria 8 will not be there. That first year academics for the right, that's what you can see here for UG programs only. In the bracket is written, it is criteria number 8 is only for UG program. It is not there for diploma. So in the diploma, you have total 9 criteria, right? So 1 to 7 is same, 8 is not there, 9 and 10 is available. For a PG level program, now they have reduced to only 6, right? Currently, if you see the website NBA, it is only 6 criteria. So I am not talking about that, but once you understand this, majority of our programs which are going for accreditation is Tier 1, Tier 2, and then diploma programs. So if you understand that, in PG program also, you will understand very easily. Then part C will be declaration by the institution. Okay. Then annexure 1 is program outcomes, program specific outcomes, which are program outcomes are given by the NBA itself. Program specific outcomes, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, you will be defining on your own, depending on the program that you are going for accreditation. So part B is very important to know, right? Program level criteria, Tier 1, total is 780 marks. Tier 2 also 780 marks, and diploma it is 875. So you may be wondering, sir, there are 1000 marks. Why Tier 1 is 780? Because program level criteria is 780, institutional level criteria is remaining 220. In the case of Tier 1 and Tier 2, in the case of diploma, remaining 125 is institutional level criteria, that is criteria 9 and 10. So these 780 marks are evaluated by the subject experts, right? And then 220 marks or 125 marks in the case of diploma, that will be evaluated by the chairman of the committee, chairman of the visiting team committee. Okay, right? So that becomes 1000 marks. So that means there are 220 marks in the hands of the chairman of the committee, and 780 marks, maximum marks, right, are in the hands of the subject experts in the Tier 1 and Tier 2. So criteria number 1, vision, mission, and program educational objectives. Tier 1 and Tier 2, right? If it is Tier 1 institution, there are 50 marks. If it is Tier 2 institution, 60 marks. If it is diploma, 50 marks, right? I have seen here majority of the institutions that I have visited, 50 plus. No problem at all in scoring marks here and passing through this criteria, whether it's Tier 1 or Tier 2. Tier 1 also, they get Y here mostly, right? Unless until that program is rejected in a very bad way. Otherwise, mostly, right, they get a Y grade, or maybe they get at least, 75% of this 50 or 60 marks in an easy way. Program curriculum and teaching learning processes. Yes, many institutions, right, they struggle here to get the marks out of 100 or 120, Tier 1, Tier 2, and diploma level also. And maximum that the institution will lose the marks is, I have seen, is my experience is these course outcomes and program outcomes, right? Either it is not understood fully by the faculty, right? All the faculty of the department. If it is understood, only 2 or 3 faculty in the department is understood out of 25 or 30 faculty. Rest do not have much idea of what are these course outcomes, what are these program outcomes, how to assess them. All those things are not at all clear to majority of the faculty. And forget about the students, right? You interact with the students. Students are not aware about what is this accreditation also, right? So maximum marks are lost in this criteria number 3. If it is a Tier 1 institution, right, I have seen that you are not exploiting the autonomy that is given to you by UGC or maybe by the concerned university, right? So you are going to lose marks in this 2 also. 2 and 3. 3 is majorly, many marks you lose, right? If you have not understood properly this course outcomes, program outcomes, and evaluation of program specific outcomes, so a lot of marks are gone, right? So once you lose in 2 and 3, that directly or indirectly affects your student performance also, right? Students performance also. So one criteria is fully dedicated for the students, right? Okay, Tier 1 and Tier 2. So if your students passing out without backlogs, with backlogs, the second year performance, first year performance is very good, right? Then you will get a good number of you have a good number of placements, like at least 90% to 100% placements, right? Including your higher studies and entrepreneurs and all those things. Then you will be able to score good marks over here, because in student performance, majority of the sub criteria is data driven, right? So if you have documents, if your students are really passing out, the numbers are speaking, then only you will be able to get the marks, except the last part, that is some professional events or professional societies and some inter-institute events and all those things. But remaining sub-criteria are data-driven. data driven. So if your students are doing good, right, if your 2 and 3 criteria is good, then there is a possibility that your student performance criteria also will be getting good score. Then the criteria number 5, as I was telling you, faculty information and contributions. So one criteria for 200 points in Tier 1 and Tier 2 reserved for you, right? And out of 1000 points or 1000 marks, maximum marks are given for criteria number 5. So that means faculty is a very, very important stakeholder after the students, right? After the students. So you have a maximum weightage, 20% weightage. You are carrying 20% of the marks in the entire 1000 marks. Very important, right? Whether it is diploma level, whether it is UG level, right? UG level, you have gotten the highest weightage, right? Various parameters of faculty information and contributions are taken care. So what I have observed majority is the marks are lost with respect to SFR, with respect to faculty qualifications, right? Maybe very few faculty are with PhD, majority are only MTech. So you lose a good number of marks. Sometimes I've seen marks being lost in faculty retention also. That means they are not paying well, their working culture is not very good for the faculty, good facilities are not given. So naturally, faculty will leave. So faculty retention is also very important. Faculty retention is good means you are like a government college, you are behaving like a government college. That means once the faculty joins, they don't want to leave because everything is good, very conducive to work, and all incentives and salaries, everything is given good. Okay. So one important observation is with respect to consultancy and R&D, research and development, sponsored R&D and consultancy from industry. So my experience of in these two sub criteria, sponsored research and development, consultancy from industry, 50 plus institutions I have seen, no institution has got full score, including NITs, right? With respect to sponsored R&D, with respect to consultancy from industry. So that means we are very, very weak with respect to getting the sponsored R&D, with respect to getting the consultancy from industry. That is one of the important aspect which need to be considered in the faculty information and contribution. Regarding the SFR improvement, it is not in your hands, it is in the hands of the management. Regarding faculty retention, again, it is the administration's responsibility or management responsibility. But getting the consultancy from industry, getting sponsored R&D from the industry, it is in the hands of the quality faculty that the department or the institution is having it. So very, very important, very, very important. And I've seen that mostly many institutions under this consultancy from industry, sponsored R&D getting 0 marks. Out of 40 marks, 0 marks they're getting, right? So out of 200 marks, right, if I believe, I remember correctly, 40 marks are for these two sub-criteria. Out of 40, straight away got 0 marks, right? Straight away got 0 marks. So you are left with only 160 for rest of the things. Okay, facilities and technical support. I have seen that out of these 80 marks, usually, right, a good institution, a reasonably good institution, good infrastructure, well-maintained infrastructure, they get marks varying from 60 to 75. I have seen institutions scoring around 75 also in this. I have seen institutions getting almost, right, majority above 60 marks. So it is one of the criteria where you can easily score. It is like every point is very important. It's like a cricket match, right? Every score is important. Right, I have seen institutions held up at 590. They are short by 10 marks to cross the 600 marks boundary. So very, very important. So you need to work hard in every aspect. That's what I told program accreditation. It is talking about vision, mission, and of the institution, vision, mission of the department. It is talking about program curriculum, that is outcome-based curriculum design and how you have designed it. And then it's talking about course outcome, program outcomes, program-specific outcomes. That means how you are going to assess the program curriculum that you are teaching to the students. And students' performance you are evaluating, right, with respect to their pass out percentage, with respect to their placements, with respect to their higher studies, with respect to the students become entrepreneurs. And then faculty quality is also being judged, right? And facilities and technical support of the institution and department is also judged. And then continuous improvement, right? Continuous improvement with respect to the outcomes that you are achieving it, right? Is there any continuous improvement with respect to PO attainment, with respect to PSO attainment, right? And then with respect to placements, with respect to quality of admissions. So all those things are taken into consideration. So criteria number 7 also again, right? Lot of institutions I have seen that they lose marks over here, right? Out of the 75 or 50, I have seen institutions scoring only 20 marks, 24. That is less than 50% marks. Less than 50% marks I'm getting over here. So this is one criteria where majority of the departments or institutions lose marks. And in the criteria number 3 also I have seen institution losing marks. Criteria number 5 also losing marks, because consultancy and sponsored R&D, many times you are losing marks. That is about program level criteria. Now institutional level criteria, which is assessed by the chairman of the committee. So first year academics is now separated. Earlier there were only 9 criteria. Then with the inputs given by the various experts after visiting, it is found that many students are failing in the first year itself. Right? That means they are losing the confidence in the first year itself, because they are coming from a some sort of coaching culture for preparing for these entrance exams, like spoon feeding system, to a independent system where they have to study on their own with the help of classroom teaching and all those things. They don't have a spoon feeding system. So many students are failing in the first year itself. So that is impacting the second year, third year, and final year performance also. So NBA has taken it very seriously, and they have introduced first year academics separately. Right? They wanted to know what is that in the first year, why students are not able to pass through. So first year academics have been separated, which will be evaluated at the institute level by the chairman of the committee. You have 50 marks for it. Then student support system, what type of mentoring you have, what type of grievance redressal you have, what type of various facilities for the benefit of the students you have created. So here also, right, criteria number 9, I have seen that many institutions score very well, right? And criteria number 10 is directly in the hands of the management, right? Directly in the hands of management, and indirectly faculty as one of the this thing you will also be contributing, because financial resources very important, right? Suppose if your students are 100% placement, your students are going for higher studies, your students are becoming entrepreneurs, right? Overall quality of education is very good, your students are industry ready. That means your institution, your program is sought after. Therefore, financial resources will be very good. Right? That means you are earning more money for your institution, for your department, because your seats are full. Otherwise, this governance, institution support, and financial is the role of the management, right? So if the admissions are good, placements are good, and I have seen that work culture and salary package and all those things are good, and institutions are getting very good marks. That means out of these 220 marks, I have seen institutions scoring up to even 160, 175 also, right? And I have also seen the institutions, right, which are being rejected in this chairman's criteria, scoring even less than 100 marks, less than 100 marks, right? So this constitutes program level criteria, institute level criteria, right, where you need to work hard, and more details about this, each of these criteria and sub criteria, Professor Bhaskar will be covering, right, as I have seen in the timetable in detail, right, criteria wise, what you have to do, right? What you have to do. So with these words, I stop here. It is around 8:40. So you have 15-20 minutes to ask questions if you have anything in your mind. Yeah. Thank you for listening patiently, right? Because it's night time and you all must be tired from your work schedules, job schedules. So if you have any questions, right, any comments, I'll be very happy to answer. Right? Not only from the talk, maybe in general on program accreditation as well.
Thank you, sir. Let us move on to discussion session. Actually, sir, I am also having a doubt. I want to clarify with you.
Sure. Please, madam.
Sir, actually, we know that now that program names are people from the deemed universities or in the affiliated colleges, they are slightly changing, because we know that already we have computer science and engineering like that. That program name is there. Now they move on to BE computer science engineering with artificial intelligence, BE computer science engineering with data science, with machine learning, like that. They are slowly changing the name, which is going to be in trending. Okay, actually based upon the to improve the admissions and all, they slowly changing the program name itself. If they are changing like that, already BE computer science and engineering got accredited, if we know, then how they are going to be evaluated next, whether they can go for re-accreditation again, or we have to renewal our accreditation, or what kind of things that we have to follow?
Yeah, Priya, it's a very important question, right? It is one is as you said rightly, many of the colleges are taking it in a way, because BTech CSC program is maximum limit you have reached for approval. So people are going for be in various other specializations like AI, data science, blockchain technology, IoT, and so on and so forth. And that is one reason. Other reason is AICTE is not now giving normal engineering programs, traditional engineering programs, BE computer science, BE electrical, mechanical. They are not giving approvals now because enough number of colleges are already offering these programs. So they are not giving any permission for the traditional programs which are running for many years. So AICTE wants to focus on any institution which is willing to offer emerging technologies, right? AICTE has identified 9 emerging technologies and maximum specializations out of these 9 are 4 are I think from computer science and engineering only. Others are like robotics and 3D printing and so on. That is there. So for that also, right, if you want to go for to start a BE computer science engineering with specialization in artificial intelligence or any other specialization, at least one of your programs should have been accredited, right? Then only you will be allowed to start another new program. Okay. So one is with respect to the seats point of view, definitely you are aiming as an institution like that. But AICTE has made it more clear, right? You need to satisfy these criteria to offer this program as a new program, add this new program. So once you have a BE-CSC program, which is a core program, and you also have a BE-CSC artificial intelligence program. So your BE-CSC program is accredited. So this is treated as one program, and BE-CSC with AI. Suppose if it is running in the same department, right? So that means SFR will be BE-CSC, BE-CSC with AI, and suppose you are running 2 PG programs also. So all programs will be put together, will be considered for SFR purpose. Okay, but there are some institutions I have seen that they are running this specialized program as a separate department, right? So if you have that separation, right, on the paper, on the building, it is displayed, and you have separate faculty for it. So it's a BE-CSC program which is already accredited. It will go for maybe a compliance of another 3 years if you have not completed earlier, or you also can go for a new cycle if you are aiming for 6 years, right? You feel that okay, in the 3 years you have improved very well. Instead of going for compliance, you can also go for a actual visit. Maybe you are aiming for 6 years, right? So BE-CSC specialized program will go separately after they complete the essential prerequisites.
So one more question from the participant side.
Yeah.
What is the minimum marks limitation in criteria 5?
Yeah, criteria 5, if it is at least you should score 40%, right? 40% of the total score. That means 80 marks you have to score if it is tier 2, right? If it is a tier 1, you should not get W or D. You should not get W or D. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Then one more doubt from my side also, sir. Actually, we have a faculty. Since we are a marine institution, we for running a marine engineering program or for running a naval architecture and offshore engineering, most of the people are teaching people are from shipping industry. That is the captain from a ship or the chief engineer from the ship. Actually, in the 5th criteria, we have norms of entering the qualification of the faculty. That qualification of the faculty, minimum we should possess MTech or ME degree from the corresponding program. But the people have a well experienced captain or chief engineers doesn't have that kind of MTech and all. So if in that case, since our marine department in our university, our marine department as well as our naval architecture and offshore engineering, both programs are going for MBA now. They are working and they are submitting the pre-qualifier also. So that if in that case, what kind of things we have to follow? Because most of the people are from the marine industry. The chief engineers and captains are taking the classes for those people.
You are talking about other than the mainstream engineering programs, right? So ocean engineering or something like that.
Actually, this BE marine engineering and BE naval architecture and offshore engineering, that also comes under AICTE, and they are having that controlled by DGS shipping in Mumbai, sir.
Got your question rightly. And if I remember correctly, AICTE has released one gadget in 2017. 2017 regarding the faculty relevant specializations for a particular branch, right? especially like branches like marine engineering, naval architecture, and all those things, right? So even in computer science and IT also there is a lot of confusion, right? To remove that confusion, AICTE has released a basket, right, for each of these programs. Okay, for this particular program, what is the corresponding UG program? What is the corresponding PG program? So there are a lot of options they have given over there, right? So once your institution or your affiliating university, right, you are following that criteria, still I believe that experts will be convinced because it is you are following the AICTE guidelines. Accordingly, you are recruited, and your university also has approved it, right? If your university you have approved it, or if you are affiliated to some other university, you have approved it. So I believe that all these type of intricate issues will be sorted out once this NEP 2020 or HECI is formed, and then accreditation council is separately formed, right? Because this NEP 2020 is talking about multidisciplinary
education. Yes, sir. Then academic bank of credits also they are insisting us to do.
Yeah, currently you have definitely some difficulties with respect to some experts when they come. But some extent AICTE with the 2017 Gazette and some extent your university notifications, right? That should help you to get through those things with approval. But that means you should need to have some proper documentation, supporting documents, which the university has approved this qualification for the faculty, though they are from industry also. Right? And you have seen that UGC has come up with something called a faculty from the industry, right? Faculty from the industry. UGC has already announced it for central universities and all. You can take them, right? You can take them without even PhD also, right? Keeping that in mind. So I think maybe another 5 years or so, a lot of changes are going to happen, and let us hope for the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, another question from Muthukumar, I think. Rajeshri?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll read out the question, sir. We are autonomous institution from 2019. We are applying for re-accreditation of earlier non-autonomous batches of students who have passed out till 2022. How to show the improvements in course outcomes in the present autonomous batches?
Yeah, this is a transition problem, right? It will always happen. It will always happen because it's an overlapping kind of thing, right? Earlier you are non-autonomous, now you are autonomous, but in autonomous in 2019. So 2019 means your first batch also has not come out from the autonomous category, right? So you want to go for re-accreditation, definitely there will be some sort of overlap, right? So it is you have to be smart how you are going to show the improvement in the program outcomes and program specific outcomes of the previous batches which has passed out with the non-autonomous tag, right? Which you have been already accredited, how you are going to go about it, right? So there will be some that, but then you need to define separately, right? Non-autonomous programs, whatever criteria, whatever procedure you are following, that you need to do. And then for autonomous, that means it's basically a little bit of overload with respect to your faculty, right? Because they have to manage two systems. One is a autonomous system, other one is a non-autonomous system. So this may happen for 4 or 5 years because of the overlap, right? You can't help for it. So you need to have a documentation for both of them separately. There is no other way because this is a transition.
Sir, good evening. This is MSP Raju from the Department of Naval Architecture and Offshore Engineering. So now this UGC has brought up this professor of practice scheme.
Yeah.
Right. So they are saying they're okay, no need of PhD or no need of master's degree, something like that. But some guys are arguing that there may be what you call the quality problem may be there in the long run. So what is your opinion on this, sir?
See, Surya Prakashji, they're always right. So now recently UGC has told that there is no mandatory publication to submit PhD thesis also.
Correct. So again, people are arguing that the quality will be reduced. I don't know why it is happening nowadays.
See, UGC point of view, because there is a bigger organization. So their point of view is because of the compulsion, what is happening is you are going for a paid publications, right?
Correct.
So that is a major aspect of stopping this compulsory requirement. But at the same time, right, even this without publications, IITs are old IITs were doing. Even when I passed out in 2005, my PhD from IIT Kharagpur, many of my fellow people who have joined along with me, they didn't have even single publication. They submitted thesis. The thesis goes even out of country also. Out of country also, renowned universities in the world.
Okay.
Right, even in IITs also, right, IIT Kharagpur PhD thesis submitted, it goes to only the old IITs. Remaining 5 IITs or maybe IISc. Even not the other IITs like IIT Roorkee, right, which is an engineering college upgraded to IIT. Even the new IITs which were established, they were not considering as IITs. The students were getting degree. So it's all depends on the quality of the supervisor, and the system being followed in that particular institution, right? So in IIT, a thesis is submitted, which is being evaluated at top class university in the world, and is coming up with good comments, and then no publication is done during the PhD time, right? Maybe the student is doing publications after the PhD is over, PhD is over, right?
Correct.
So a system has to be brought in from somewhere, right? If the other universities in the world can do it, is it possible to reflect that characteristics of IITs, old IITs, in some other institutions also, like triple IITs and new IITs, and maybe in the older NITs also? So slowly, one day, right, we have to reach out to government engineering colleges and good private institutions and all those things. So a good step, but how to control it, how it will be taken further, only time will tell us. Time will tell us. So right now, I can't comment anything. Right, as a faculty like you, right? So maybe I may be thinking that if paper publication is not made compulsory, student will be coming to you every day, right? Sir, my work is over, madam, my work is over, I should be allowed to submit. Otherwise, the student will be complaining that Surya Prakash Raju is not good, Priya madam is not good, they are very harsh. They want more work, they want more publications, they are not allowing me to go.
Correct.
So all these happens, the things will happen.
Right, sir. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, one more thing I want to share with you. Actually, from 2008 onwards, I am working with the NBA accreditation process. From various institutions, I worked. When we go for the first accreditation, that publication by the faculty is the first. If we do, they appreciate it. When they come for extension of approval, re-accreditation, they insist us to put the publications in Google indexed publications, and then they move on to Scopus indexed, and then they move on to other renowned journals. Now they are saying that only unpaid journals they are considering. So step by step, they are that consideration is increasing. The expectations also increasing regarding the publications of faculty. Then the second thing, all the higher education institutions are mainly bother about that NIRF ranking. In that NIRF ranking, the publication by the faculty is going to be the important factor. So institutions also insist the faculty to do the publications and all. But UGC now released one thing: publication is not mandatory for PhD candidate. That is the one contradictory thing. And the another thing is when we talk about the NBA accreditation, they actually insist that all the faculty should possess at PhD minimum percentage they need now. Then if we go for some other 5 years, they will insist us everyone should complete PhD like that, because we know that now the HOD should possess the PhD, then only we can go for the accreditation and that. So one side the accreditation insisting us for getting PhD, for getting publication, for getting proposals, for getting funding and all. But another side, if this is going to happen, what is the decision we have to do as an educational institution members?
Priya madam, it's a very nice question, right?
Sir,
Very serious question, right? See, this all indicates that I think Professor Ariva also rightly said that government is very serious to bring in this Higher Education Commission of India bill in the winter session of Parliament. So these are all some sort of snapshots coming out, right? Publications are not mandatory. Professors of practice will be taken up, right? From industry also, even with BTech with 16 years experience will be considered associate professor, right? As a professor of practice, all these things. So for next 5 years, we need to watch and wait. But you have to, because see, overnight you cannot change the NBA accreditation process. Overnight you cannot change NAAC accreditation process. overnight you cannot change the NIRF ranking process, which is going on for last 6 years or 7 years. So therefore, this is again a transitional period from all these individual systems to a HECI format, right? Under 4 verticals, which I told you in the beginning, right? So as an institution, you should be very cautious so that this NIRF ranking also will go on for next 5 years, maybe with some changes. As I told you, that NAAC is already working on changes, right? Keeping in mind NEP 2020 and other things. So you have to keep on following it up during this transition period of maybe 4 to 5 years. And then I think after 5 years, we may see some maturity, right, coming up with respect to all these things. So you have to be careful with respect to your accreditation, with respect to your ranking, with respect to your NAAC accreditation. You have to be this thing, right? So even the UGC may tell, but as a supervisor, as a this thing, like see, quality of thesis work will be judged in a normal institution by the quality of publications only. Like neither you are an IIT, neither you are an reputed NIT, right? When the thesis goes out, because you want to have a proper evaluation, so immediately the supervisors or examiners look for publication, what kind of publications you have made. Okay, so for IITs, leave them alone, right? For institutions like you and other institutions, you should keep in mind all these things, and you should continue for at least 5 years and see what type of systems are going to be evolved in the next 5 years.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Participants, if you have any doubts, please clarify now itself.
I think Rajavel is asking some question. I think he raised and stopped it.
Yeah, raised, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. I raised, but you answered for this question, sir. As
Thank
Madam
you.
said, in NBA, in
Yeah.
NAAC criteria 3 is there,
Yeah.
and which requires the denominator is number of teachers published papers, number of teachers reviewed the publications.
Rajavelan Saab, I know
projects.
it.
Yes.
I know it. This confusion will exist as long as this overlapping period is not over.
Yeah, you said the answer, sir.
We have to wait and watch this. What is this HECI? How it is going to come up, and how these 4 verticals are going to come up, right? Because accreditation also, there is nothing called NAAC and NBA now separately, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's going to be a one National Accreditation Council, NAAC, NAAC. So under that only, what type of accreditation they are going to do, whether it is institutional accreditation or program accreditation. And they told that it is not only NBA, there will be many agencies will be there, right? What type of agencies will be there, how they are going to do it, what will be the criteria. So all these things we need to wait and watch what is going to happen.
Yes, sir. We will wait, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other queries from the participant side?
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, Gauri
So,
Shankar.
as I am Gauri Shankar sir from Ahmed University. So my question is regarding the ABET. You told me that the accreditation for the Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology. So what is the criteria, sir? Because you told me that the VIT and all, they have some programs accredited by the ABET. So our institution also, I heard that they are having some MOU signing with the foreign universities. Whether it is necessary for the course going to be signed with the foreign universities, that course should be accredited by the ABET, or what is the criteria actually we have to follow to get the ABET accreditation?
Yeah, ABET, see, actually, the mother of our accreditation is actually ABET only, right? If you look at the older format NBA was following, it is more or less the format followed by ABET only, actually, right? That earlier we were using these graduate attributes as it is, right? As it is, maybe with some minor changes and all those things. So later on, because of a lot of confusions it is creating in India, the system, because our system is a very huge system with different type of institutions, right? So NBA has come up with a list for UG programs, fixed program outcomes, right? These program outcomes are basically derived from the graduate attributes only. Okay. So I have seen institutions like VIT, I have seen institutions like Thapar University in Patiala near Chandigarh. Right? This is also a very old institution. So once you are accredited by NBA, right? Let us say first level this thing. So I am 100% sure that you will be. It will be easy for you to get accreditation, because see, going for a ABET accreditation is 2 things. One is whether you are aiming the international students for your program, right? If you are aiming for the international students, then you must go for ABET accreditation. You must go for accreditation because that will give you added advantage. Or maybe many of your students are aiming to go for countries like USA for further studies. Then also this ABET accreditation will help your students to get easy admissions as well as equivalency in countries like USA or Canada or whatever it is. Right. Otherwise, NBA accreditation is more than sufficient. But if you are aiming for collaborations and many of your students are seeking to go out of the country, right, and that is the goal of the institution, that is the vision of the institution, then definitely yes, ABET will be a added advantage along with the NBA.
Okay. So whether if you're going to have any student mobilization, means in that program it is necessary to have the ABET, or
Yeah, you see, it all depends. That's what I'm telling you. If many of your students are from international community, that means your program, let us say, MET University EEE program, out of 120 students approved by AICTE, right? You have some foreign quota also, right? Okay, foreign nationals are studying. Let us say this thing. So, for example, I'll tell you one example of NIT, old NIT. In that old NIT, there was a provision that countries, the SAARC countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and other countries, right? They have some quota in India because they don't have many good engineering colleges or seats in other countries. So they have some provision as per the Indian government understanding with the counterpart government in other country. So there were Sri Lankan students in that particular NIT, old NIT. But none of their programs were accredited. Even the Sri Lanka students, let us say they were studying BTech in computer science engineering, BTech in information technology, but their programs were not accredited. When these students came to the final year, there was a note came from Sri Lanka government, right, to this institution that our students are studying over in your institution, this BTech CSC, BTech IT program. If that program is not accredited in India, then that program will not, those students will not be considered in Sri Lanka. So therefore, that NIT overnight they have to prepare because Ministry of Education, because NITs come under Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education has given a direction to that NIT that, or not only that NIT, other NITs also, that you must go for NBA accreditation immediately, so that before these students will pass out, you should get the accreditation. So they went for it. They went for it. They have to really struggle. Otherwise, NITs are also were not willing to come to this NBA accreditation process. Just like IITs don't do it, right? IITs don't do it, IITs don't do it, and many of the NITs are also not coming forward. So after this incident, right, Minister of Education has given the direction to all the NITs. They should also go for programs so that the students, especially foreign students studying in these NITs, because of the understanding between the governments, and they should go for accreditation so that the degree is valid in the respective countries when they go back.
Sir, now IITs are not accredited to NBA.
Yeah.
Now when they're going to US and all,
Yeah.
like Washington Accord is accepting them or not?
See, Washington Accord, they are not coming. But see, that is the beauty of US education system, right? This NEP 2020, we are talking now, right? But if you look at the US system, this multiple entry, multiple exit,
Correct.
right? I was just going through an article in the IEEE Spectrum last week only. There is one person, I forgot his name, right? I forgot his name. He is the one who has invented the router, right? Router that we are using in the internet infrastructure. So I saw that his basic graduation qualification is in history, right? That person is a graduation in history. Okay. Then he got interest in computers, right? He went on ahead further on his own, and he invented the router, the fastest router in the world. Correct. Right? So is it possible in India, a graduate in history, right, inventing something in computer science engineering, and then he is being highlighted?
Maybe forget about graduate in history. Maybe graduate in engineer also may not be able.
Appreciated. So now answer to your question is, when IITs have made their name in the entire world, right? Correct. So when a US university, because they have different systems to judge the students, right? It is not only this accreditation, right? They see many things, right? Even some of our relatives are also studying, their children are studying there. So to get an admission into a computer undergraduate program in engineering or maybe in medical sciences, so it is not only the rank that matters, right? They will see many other things also. So, which actually our CCE system, which Government of India introduced and then dropped out, right? That continuous comprehensive evaluation system, which was introduced up to 10th standard, it was very good, but it was not followed in spirit. Okay, so finally, Government of India has to drop that system and then come back to the again examinations. Okay, so that CCE system was very elaborate and it was focusing on the overall development of the child. It is not only the marks, it is not only the grades, but it is the various other aspects of the student development.
Correct.
So US has a different system of judging different students, right? A student coming from a private engineering college, right? They will see this accreditation and other things and all. A student coming from an IIT system, they have a different set of parameters to be judged, right? They may not be asking for Washington Accord, this Tier 1, Tier 2 and all, because they know that these institutions don't follow this Tier 1, Tier 2 in India.
Correct.
Okay, so they give weightage for many other things. That's actually a national education policy like ours in 2020, right? Right. So as Surya Prakash told that even a BTech computer science student invent something, we don't give any importance to that fellow, right? Finally, this fellow has to land up in other country only, and he will shine there, right? He will invent the technology over there in USA, and he will sell it in India, right? Which we could not encash. Yes, good questions, sir. You're all nice participants, right? Even at 9 o'clock also, you're very happy to interact. So thanks to this two coordinator, Priya and Rajeshri, they have put in a lot of efforts, right?
Thank you
Any
so
other
much.
question? Any other
Participants, do you have any other questions? Participants?
Yeah, I think they don't have any other questions.
Okay.
It appears to be.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, really, I am very delightful. See your presentation also very nice because we know NBA accreditation and what the process are going on, everything we know, but the procedural steps, what we have to adopt when we go for the accreditation, that kind of knowledge, I think sure participant will get the idea why we go for accreditation, in what way we have to apply, what is the standard procedures NBA following for applying this accreditation process and all. I think they got a clear idea about that. Thanks for your presentation, and also I would like to thank you on this occasion when you accept our invitation and grace this inaugural function, sir. Thank you so much. Now
Thank you.
I hand over the session to Rajeshri madam.
Ramakrishna garu, your lecture is so nice. 2 hours gone just like that. We are not feeling tired also.
Thank you, Prakash Raj garu, right? Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are basically from which place, sir? In Andhra?
I am from Kurnool.
Okay.
I am from Kurnool. So I am here in Chandigarh for last 26 years.
Okay, sir. I am basically from Visakhapatnam.
Actually, our Surya Prakash sir is heading the naval architecture and offshore engineering. Sir is going on NBA now. He is under the process of preparing the SER.
No, you will get it. If any help is required, we can also do. No problem at all. Whatever I know, I can always contribute.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech on OBE-based program accreditation, their needs, eligibility of programs for NBA accreditation, their process, and detailed explanation of program level and institution level criteria and their mark summary for Tier 1, Tier 2, and Diploma. This will be helpful for the participants who are going for the NBA accreditation. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you all. Thank you the coordinator. Thank you all the participants who have made this session successful. Thank you so much. Good night. Good night to all.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. The participants' feedback link is posted in the chat box, so kindly fill the form.
Participant, see from my side, my humble request, kindly join in time. Tomorrow also we have another resource person, Dino madam. Actually, she is well versed in outcome-based education. So kindly be on session at 6:50 itself. Then some 2-3 participants are not joined today. Madam Rajeshri madam, kindly insist the people to join tomorrow because 80% attendance is mandatory for getting your certificate from ATL portal. That and all you know very well. So kindly join in time. Kindly attend online session, all online session, because if you are not able to come for offline session for one day, we can make use of that online session effectively. Okay, kindly be present for online as well as offline session. This is my humble request. I think our participants will do that. Thank you, participants. Actually, once again, I would like to thank participants who are listening the program very patiently. I think you will get some knowledge about NBA, how to go for the accreditation and all, what are all the accreditation criteria. I think, thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Prakash
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Thank you, madam.
Good, good, good.
Rajavelan sir, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Raju sir, thank you, sir.
Thank
Raju
you,
sir,
ma'am.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for arranging such a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Kindly fill the feedback link what I have posted in the chat box.
Rajashri madam, shall I leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after getting the feedback link, kindly note down. Okay, who are all not attended, I insist the people to attend tomorrow session. Okay, madam.
Okay, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rajashri madam. Thank
Thank
you, our department faculty members to support us for conducting this faculty development program. I know that Karthik Manoj is behind this. Then Jagdishwari madam also supporting us. So many, all of you are supporting us for the successful conduction of this ACTRL FDP. Thank you so much.